Hi, I'm Keith McCullough. Welcome back. I'm here with Howard Penney, a founding partner at the firm who runs our restaurant research business, and we want to get into one of the topics we have a little bit of fun with, but it's a really interesting story, which is, of course, Clarence Otis, the chairman and CEO of Darden Restaurants. So, Howard, we have Clarence. We have the bull and the bear case. Where does Clarence fit?
Well, Clarence is the bear case.
He's a bear. So he himself is the bear case.
He survives is the bear case, and he actually gets the spinoff of Red Lobster through and out the door. And I evidenced by the two presentations he gave to the street, which was on December 19th and then last Tuesday. And both times the stock was down anywhere from 5 to 7%. And in total, as of last Tuesday, the market value decline since he made his first presentation last December was $400 million. So clearly the street doesn't like what he has to say.
So basically Clarence gets up, tells people, I want to spin off Red Lobster, or maybe you know that I know that if I don't spin it off, that there's going to be a big shake-up here. Correct. And the market votes no on that.
Correct, absolutely.
So did they just cancel their analyst day?
They canceled the analyst meeting.
Oh,
yes,
so
they
didn't want the third act.
Right. Well, they didn't want public scrutiny of their ideas. Is what they didn't want. So they don't want people like me asking them questions.
Because the analyst day is where you get to ask questions.
Exactly.
Okay.
In the most recent presentation, they saved 15 minutes for analyst questions, and they've got 30 analysts covering the stock.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And I know they have long analyst days because when you and I used to work together, when I was on the buy side, Howard was on the sell side. And I'd go down to Florida and go to these sell-side analyst days, and Clarence literally fell asleep.
Yes, he did.
He wasn't the head of the company then.
He was the CFO at the time, and he's in the front row of the meeting, and he fell asleep. I swear to God, you can't make that up.
But you can get paid $7 to $8 million a year to do that.
Yep.
Evidently. Well, we're trying to make some serious points here, by the way. So, in all seriousness, what are his returns on equity? Has he done anything?
So there's a lot of people want to make the case that it's not Clarence's fault. You know, the industry's in a secular decline. You know, the company's seen the decline in profitability, but it's the industry, not him. But he failed to recognize the decline in the industry, or really the decline in the industry back in 2008. Really didn't say anything until last year, whereas other companies in this space clearly recognized it, and the one I highlighted was Brinker. And if you look at the comparison of just return on equity, for instance, between the two companies, there is a striking difference between the performance of those two companies since 2008 and this past year. So it's not the environment; it's how the companies.
And you're using
run.
Brinker because they have Chili's and Red Lobster, Olive Garden. It's kind of
but they're evidence of a company that recognized the decline and what was going on in the industry and made serious changes. So they actually did what they needed to do to understand the fact that customers aren't coming back to casual dining anymore; they're going elsewhere. So the serious discussion is how is this company being run today? And is it his fault or is it not his fault? And I think I make a pretty strong case that his track record is not one that is deserving of both spots, CEO and chairman of the board. But someone else thinks that
he can blame the industry. Has he blamed the weather at least? Like, what else is he blamed anything
I think
else?
their last press release, the disaster, the same-store sales disaster, they blame the weather.
It wasn't a disaster in Florida, the weather, was it?
I don't believe so. I think the weather's beautiful in Florida.
So, just to boil this down, for the stock to work, it probably doesn't involve Clarence. It probably involves Red Lobster. As an ongoing concern in it, and what else is it that you're still looking for?
I have my plan. I think there should be 3 companies, maybe 4 companies. So there should be a steak company, a seafood company, and an Italian company. And then maybe you can separate the real estate into another, company as well. So maybe there's a total of 4 companies. So,
Would you give Clarence a job at any of your 4 companies?
He can have the smaller businesses. He can have Eddie V's and Yard House.
Clarence, Howard's on your side, man.
We want him to go out diplomatically.
Yes. Okay. That's it. If we do, in fact, get any closure that Clarence isn't allowed to do what we don't think that he should be able to do, that would be a very good thing for the bull case for Darden Restaurants. If you have any questions, I'm at Keith McCullough. You can find Howard Penney at Hedgeye. HWP is his Twitter handle.